Go ahead, what's your other question?
Do you have any lucky objects or anything that brings you like luck, or do you believe in that type of stuff?
Say it again?
Do you have any like lucky objects or like any?
My luckiest object in life is my horn. It's been with me my whole life since 1966. It's an extension of my arm. Right? I think of it as a body part.
When did you start playing saxophone?
At the age of 9. When I started actually playing music at 5 years old. On clarinet first.
When did you know that you wanted to be serious about like playing saxophone?
And music? At 11 years old. Probably almost people. You know. I already had chosen my profession by the age of 9, actually, to tell you the truth. I knew what I was going to do already. And it wasn't only my choice, my friend. It was my family's choice. You know, it's like you grow in a household of woodworkers. Guess what you're going to do? Well, I grew up in a household of all musicians. They were all pro players from the 1930s to the present day. And they were professional musicians who worked in a recording studio. And they worked on the road, they did everything. And they were the people that I respected and grew up listening to and learned from. And so it was only a foregone issue that I was going to be in the business. It wasn't really my choice, it was their decision. And when I finally made the choice to play R&B instead of their music, that's when we broke arms with each other. And I was in their not so good graces for a number of years. But eventually, that all changed. As I gained more respect from the family, playing as a recording musician, working in the studio, and doing other things. I think that attitude, as the music became more popular and people respected it more as a social and real political message, then R&B became something more than just a party music. And that's when they began to not only accept it, but even respect it. And that's really when the change happens. But when did I think I was going to be a musician? 9. Probably 9, And I'd been playing for 4 years already.
So your favorite genre is R&B?
No, my favorite genre is jazz. That's what I play now, and what I grew up with as a child. Right? And but I played all kinds of music, my friend. Right? Okay? And I still record and produce all kinds of music. Right? But my new record label is basically a jazz label. Right? Okay? But not considerably swing. Okay? I play avant-garde, okay, which is a very contemporary form, literally created in the 1960s. You might not be familiar with some of the names I'm mentioning, but the music I play is very similar to Ornette Coleman and John Coltrane, okay, who were 1960s musicians who started a whole new era of jazz. Okay. Far beyond the swing music my relatives played the big band. So I play that contemporary music form. But my latest album that I'm coming out with for the springtime is a smooth jazz album, doing reggae and hip hop mixed with jazz. My last album before that was an avant-garde duo with 2 saxophones a cappella. That is so far out on the edge that it's as out as any cubism or anything you can imagine. If you want to find out, visit my website, and you'll hear many of the cuts on all of my albums. I have 4 new albums out, 2 that have been released this year, 2 that were released last year. 2 last year, one's a duo with piano and saxophone. The other's a quartet, which is more modern jazz. The new albums I've come out with is one's avant-garde, which is a duet mentioned, and the other's fusion, mixing reggae, jazz, and hip hop together. And all the cuts are, at least 4 of the cuts for each of the albums are available online. If you hear on my
I was checking
website.
them out last night.
some out shit. You know, you can hear some really out shit on some of them. And I'm also a visual artist. In fact, one of the album covers I designed, which is the new album I've been coming out, which is called Conversations with Eric and I. Okay.
Is that the one with all the colors?
Yeah, all the weird colors, like, you know, and,
like
and it's like it's a portrait of me, right? Okay. And actually, I'm a visual artist that actually did the portrait myself.
Really? Awesome.
So that's my new venture in life, is visual art. You know, so I'm becoming an artist in that respect, and that's a 3-stage lithograph that I created. You know, and it was just put up in the Gallery X downtown this summer as a part of the exhibit. So my new venture in life. As you can tell, also too, I'm a web designer, and I've been doing that since 1986, and I'm a webmaster for about 10 sites for different musicians and artists. So that was a venture that I started when the internet was born. I said to myself that I wanted to be hip, learn the latest technology.
We'll jump on it.
And I jumped on it, so I bought a book on HTML about that thick and read through the whole thing. And I started designing websites before these new YSIG editors came out. So I learned to do hand coding, the real thing. You know, not many web designers know how to do that shit. You know, most of them use these YSIG editors, and they just, you know, Fusion and all that stuff. You know? So, again, what's your other question, man?
I know you've traveled definitely a lot. What's your favorite spot that you've been to when you were touring?
That's really tough, man. I guess, you know, I've always had an affinity. My favorite place to be, Monterey, California. It's like the perfect place, man. The temperatures never changes. It's a constant 85. Never goes lower than 64. You know, the sun's always out. It never rains. You know what I mean? And there's like jazz for days everywhere. And the richest people live there. Pebble Beach. And I used to play all the golf tournaments. The Bing Crosby, the Bob Hope Classic. I played for all the richest people.
That's what we're gonna do.
I have pictures on my website of me with one of my closest friends, Clint Eastwood. But I've been a number of places, of course, across the globe. And right now, I'm looking to do festivals this summer across the globe. So I put out some feelers through the booking agencies. And I just got a booking for the summer that I'm thinking of doing, which is far from here.
Yeah.
How far? Beijing.
Really?
Yes. I got a request from the government to do a festival in the city for 4 days. So I may decide to do it. I'm not sure yet. It's a long way to go, though.
Where's your favorite place outside of the country?
I have to say it's the south of France. It's my favorite.
Why is that?
For the Canes Festival, and Montmartre, in Paris. Those are places that I've been that I frequent, and people love jazz, and they treat jazz musicians like heroes, unlike this country, who spits upon them. Many of my friends who are great jazz musicians have decided to never come back to this country because of the treatment they've received here. 2, in fact, have become Roman citizens as of last year. And so it is a thought on my brain always, is whether to leave and never come back. But my ties to my family and my home have kept me here so far. But occasionally, because of many years of being on the road, I sort of lost the itch in the foot. But lately, I've been feeling it again. And so I put out the feelers to do some travel for the summertime again. Usually in the summertime, I travel within the country, usually West Coast and down to Florida. played gigs, you know. And but this time around, I'm thinking of going back abroad, you know. And, because I have friends here that I miss. I haven't seen in some time. So I've been offered a gig in southern France, in Beijing, and another one I'm searching out in Holland. These places I want to go. So that's pretty much, you know, my opinion. It's a very difficult thing for musicians because I feel that we're not really treated so well. And it's I think it's the whole culture that really, you know, is more popularly based and looks for the singers more than it does for the instrumentalists. I mean, you know, how many guitar players are actually revered in this country?
Yeah.
How many saxophone players are actually revered in this country? You know what I mean? I can't name
No,
them.
but this is recent.
I can't in Paris.
I've been trying to push.
I can in Europe in general. I can in other places across the world. I'll give you a prime time example, right? In Thailand, the king of the country is a devout jazz fan. Why? Because he plays jazz piano. Every year he holds a Coltrane festival in the month of August.